Warning, the following broadcast contains strong opinions, playful antics, and controversial topics causing off-the-rails fun. Chances for being offended are higher than average for sensitive people. Viewer discretion is not advised. Live a little and have some fun.
And we welcome you to La Pachanga here on a Thursday night. It's the crossover show. It is the Coach's Box. It is On the Move with the Caravan. Brought to you by Off the Rails Productions. I'm Jim Powers, the host of On the Move with the Caravan, and they're letting me and Kevin and Coach Winkler crash the party tonight.
That's right.
Chris Miller and Riley Blair joining us, and we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. It's going to be a crossover show. We're going to talk some high school stuff. Some news came out of MSHSAA yesterday with state championship sites. We'll wrap up the spring sports. Talk a little bit about the turnover in, coaches and athletic directors, because I have not seen the amount of turnover in years than what we've seen this past year with coaches and athletic directors. And then we'll get into some professional stuff. We'll talk a little bit of U.S. Open. Their first round was today on just a brutal course. It's a great course, but just a brutal course up in Boston. Then we'll talk a little bit of Cardinals. Can Goldie keep up the hot streak that he's on right now? We'll talk a little bit about Jack Flaherty's debauchery last night. I don't think he was ready to go. They shouldn't have trotted him out there in my mind, but we'll talk a little bit about that. Talk a little NHL 2. Stanley Cup final started last night. The Avs went in overtime. It's hard to believe that the Avs have won every game except for the two that St. Louis beat them in. And if you have a healthy Jordan Binnington, who knows what would have happened. So a lot of great stuff, a lot of debauchery, a lot of off-the-rails conversation. It's going to be a lot of fun here tonight, boys. And Coach Winkler, thank you so much for joining us here on a Thursday night.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And, the last time I was here, I really didn't know anybody other than Coach Blair. He and I briefly met when I was coaching the St. Vincent girls in 15, 16, 17. When I was here, I was a perfect gentleman. I waited until it was my turn to speak, which happened very, very seldom.
That might be different tonight.
That will be very different tonight. Let's just put it out there.
Until Coach Miller would invite me in. But I've decided on my drive up here, I'm going to treat all you guys like my wife. I'm going to interrupt you when I want to.
You will fit right in.
Just kidding, dear.
That's exactly what you have to do.
Oh, my gosh.
You just had to say, hey, listen, it's my turn to talk. Shut up.
Yeah, that's right.
Is Winkler the new Jarvis?
I don't know.
No.
Oh, gosh.
Maybe improvement on looks.
Before we get really...
Most definitely.
Yes. Before we get too deep into this, first off, it's Coach McVey's birthday today.
Yeah.
The big
40th birthday.
4-0.
Hey,
So-
he's got a 5-year plan.
He does.
You know what it is?
Oh, no.
Don't die.
Yeah, exactly. So, happy birthday to Coach McVey. He's out for his birthday dinner with the family tonight. And Coach Jarvis, want to send him our best. Little bit of stuff going on with him health-wise, and he's home, he's resting, and I'm sure he's watching what's going to take place tonight because the comments have already been made, Coach Halley, that we cannot talk soccer. And we're going to talk soccer.
I don't care. We're talking soccer.
Yeah,
I'm talking soccer. Even if he mutes me, I'm talking soccer.
You're going to get muted. So just know.
I expect
Be
it at this
prepared.
point. I'm moving to his mic.
Oh, boy.
You guys are on the same one. There's a reason.
Who's on the same one? Me and him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Here it goes.
So as soon as it gets to that point,
But you know what, though? If he mutes our mic, We leave. That means okay. We're done. Goodbye. See you later.
That part of the crossover is over.
You gone.
He gone. Oh shoot! So let's get into it. First off, spring sports are finally over with. What a terrific year. And Pius, I haven't had a chance to talk to Coach. What a great year for the girls soccer team. You guys did a tremendous job. I think just kind of ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw, so to say, in that state championship game against Whitfield.
The one kid they had up top, I think, the Mia Devereaux, who is every bit as good as advertised, only a sophomore.
He's solid.
And she single-handedly did a really good number in that game. I thought we did a really good job against her in the first half, and I think we wore down trying to push a little bit, and that's how they scored their last 2 goals. We were trying to push kids forward to get that equalizer. So it really wasn't a 3-0 loss, I don't think. It was. I thought we played them pretty even, but that kid's a game changer up top.
No doubt about it. And I will say this, and I know Coach Miller's not a big fan of this, but I will
I'm sorry, did you say something? I was doing my taxes or
Soccer.
anything.
No, here's what I'm going to say. And for the Class 4 game, Nerix Hall and St. Dominic, they had nearly 4,000 people in Soccer Park.
It's impressive.
And that game, I was talking to Matt Betlock, the head coach over Triad. They won their second consecutive over in Illinois in 2A. And he just said, what an unbelievable showing. But it was a college game. It looked like a mid-level Division I college game between those two. And it was. I mean,
between the 22 starters between St. Dominic's and Eric, there's probably 16 Division I players.
Easily
16. Wow. It
Incredible.
I am so glad. The last time we were able to go to the Final Four in soccer, it was out in Blue Springs, and they played it at 2 high schools, at Blue Springs High School and Blue Springs South. The atmosphere was nothing. We had maybe 100 people at those games for state championship games, and to come back to St. Louis where the fans will come watch these games, made for even our Class 1 game at 11 o'clock in the morning, on a hot day.
Yeah.
It was a phenomenal group. Both student sections were really good for 2 small schools. We had a lot of fan support. I bet you we had 1,000, 1,500 there just for our game.
I want to say I would say throughout the whole day at Soccer Park, they probably came close to 8,000-9,000 people.
Yeah.
And that's just a testament to
At $8 a pop, and then
Wait,
do the math.
Wait.
the $1.55 service charge.
Who gets the money on the service charge?
The
And
tipping,
what about parking?
That goes to Soccer Park.
that goes to Soccer Park.
So they probably also did. I don't even know that if Soccer Park necessarily, because of the parking charge,
Right.
that much of a fee. I don't have the inner workings of that, but
Neither do I.
they got all the concessions out of it, those types of things. But it's the best facility in the state in which to host the state championships for that.
For right now.
Yes.
And we're going to get into that.
Yes.
We are going to get into that.
What do you think, Blair? You're not saying a whole lot.
Because it's soccer.
Yes.
I'll let these guys over here have their
I mean, their
5
mic's gonna,
minutes in the sun.
Well, no, because we're going to get you guys in here in a second.
Wait,
their mic's going to be turned off anyway after this first part, so they're done.
Yeah, the time limit's on.
I want to
Jarvis
interject
come
here.
diving through the
Oh,
door.
yeah. Hey, jump in there. Just tell them to shut up. I told you that's how you do it.
Shut up and listen.
Oh!
I like it.
I
There you go.
feel that I'm a soccer connoisseur because I helped call one of your games this season with a live stream.
Okay.
You guys, I can't remember who you played, but you shut them out 3-0, I believe.
DeBerg.
The Bird,
Yes.
yes, that's who it was. I don't know anything about soccer. You can fit my soccer knowledge underneath this fingernail right here. But I was able to tell enough that you're like your basketball girls. You out-quickened them, and your defense became your offense several times.
Let's put it this way: as fast as what we were, that Mia Devereaux kid from Whitfield
was
3 times faster than any kid we had.
Incredible.
And she's only 5'2", weighs maybe 110 pounds, and she's
phenomenal.
So, somebody said that they thought you guys had more overall talent.
I would
But-
agree. I would
but
think
her-
so. But that kid was
Yeah.
head and shoulders.
And the thing is,
she's the Class 1 Player of the Year for a reason.
For a reason,
But
exactly.
We had the Class 1 Offensive Player of the Year
Yep.
and the Defensive Player of the Year. 5 All-Staters. And we had a bunch of kids we thought could have made a case for All-State that weren't on that list, that could have gone 6, 7, 8, 9
Yes.
deep. And it just that kid. You have a goal scorer like that in soccer. it's an absolute game changer.
Especially when she made that one off the free kick from 21 out and curled it into the upper left. It was unbelievable.
It was an unsavable shot
for a sophomore. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, for a sophomore.
And she's the one that got fouled to put herself in that position to get fouled in order to do that.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you call fouls in soccer still. I think it's insane.
Oh,
you
boy.
can push, and all of a sudden someone
then you
flops,
can't.
And it's like, no, you can't do that. Like, you missed the 8 of them right before that.
Don't worry, we were over there saying a very similar thing.
Yes, I know you were. I was watching you guys on the sidelines up in the press box.
Coach Port, that was my job. Coach Portel.
Yeah, there's the music.
Yeah.
Hey, that's ambiance.
Oh, that's
Welcome to Herculaneum La Pachanga.
I was like, ooh, we got a new riff.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Smooth Jazz. So, but
Hispanic jazz.
But soccer was terrific. The All-State teams came out, like you said, Kevin. Great representation from Jefferson County, and you guys in it. A lot of great representation from the metro area. On all 4 Class All-State teams. And tomorrow night, the All-Star game up at Soccer Park that the MAC puts on, that's going to be a lot of fun to watch, too. So, Festus Baseball, what a terrific year for them. Making it to the Class 5 state championship game. And really, came out of nowhere when you look at it. And Riley, you know those guys a little bit better. But, really came out of nowhere and just played extremely well when it counted. And that was in districts and in the state run.
You that group of kids that Festus has, and they're young.
Yeah.
But they're very, very talented. Baseball IQ is high. A lot of those guys have been playing together for many, many, many years. And I think, to me, that's what it takes when you on a baseball field. Really, you guys got to play together, and those kids just live on the field year in and year out every year together. So I feel like that's has a lot to do with it. And then their pitching was top notch this year. Their lefty went out in the district game with the rotator cuff issue, and he never got to pitch in the postseason after that. But
and he still made first team, if I'm not mistaken. He still made first team All-State.
And he's a stud. He's pretty solid, and that's a lot of the thing with Festus is they're so young. They're going to be rolling it in again next year, and that's
they had a great mix of some older talent that were good leaders, and Jeff, Coach Montgomery, did a really good job of mixing that youth in.
Yes, he did.
And putting them in spots in which they can be successful. And even in they in really big opportunities, that home run come from behind against Windsor in the district game, the bases loaded walk in the semifinal game, had an opportunity where it was really close in the championship game, and had a sophomore pinch running at third was thrown out at the plate.
Yeah.
Some conjecture as to whether he was really safe or not. I've seen pictures otherwise, but
pretty controversial.
That would have made it, I think, a 2-1 ball game at that point, and that kind of took a little bit of steam out of momentum at that point, getting called out at home on that one. And
it definitely did. And the crazy thing about it is, like everybody said, the expectations were high for those guys, but at the same point, I just think their expectations were, we're going to compete for a district championship, and then whatever else happens from that point happens. They were going to run into Lutheran South, and Lutheran South went to the Final Four last year, and so I think they felt like the way it all fell out this year, as far as the amount of days rest in between, I think really took to advantage for Festus, because they were able to get some pitching under control and be able to utilize that. And I think that's, and we talked about this on the show a couple weeks ago, that, the days in between really helped a lot of teams that maybe didn't deserve to be there, but was able to rest their ace.
Rest their arms, yeah.
And was able to bring them back in between 2 games, and instead of having to pitch a second guy, where you got teams that have 2 or 3. Typically, if you have 2 or 3 strong pitchers, you have a good chance to get there.
Well, and that's the thing that I do like about how the baseball is set up. And I also like how soccer's set up, too, where you have that 5-day, 6-day break in between the quarterfinal and the semifinal. in most cases. Now, baseball, it's a little bit different because of Class 1-2 having to turn around and go Monday, Tuesday, go Memorial Day and then Tuesday. But I think, having that week to get your arms rested, that way you're going to put on the best show that you absolutely possibly can.
Right.
On the big stage in the state semifinal. And then you roll the dice. And in talking to a lot of coaches, I had a chance to talk to Tim Funkhauser from Edwardsville. They won the 4A championship this past weekend. And in talking to him, he said we needed to have those 3 days off because we needed to reset our rotation. And, they were able to pull it off and get it done. And when you talk to Tony Perkins over at Francis Howell, they had a terrific year. They just, couldn't squeeze across a run in the 7th inning, and they lose in the 8th inning to Liberty North. And then they just go absolutely haywire in the 3rd place game and win 11-0 over Lindbergh in 5 innings. But I like having that little bit of a breather because it's letting you get kids rested, and it's letting you set your pitching rotation. That way the kids are healthy, the arms are okay. For the most part, it's a long season, but it's going to put on the best show absolutely possible and give them the best chance to win a state championship.
Baseball does a much better job of, I think, the schedule set up than soccer did. Soccer we had 10 days between our district title game and our quarterfinal.
Insane.
That's because, remember, I didn't realize, but there used to be sectionals, but they dropped the sectionals.
Right.
There's no more sectional games. But I felt that 10 days is too much time. And baseball does it right because you don't want too much time in baseball. It's a game of timing and things like that. So
no doubt.
And the other thing about the run that Festus had, they hadn't been there since 2000, I believe.
Yeah, it was 2000.
Yes. And you look at our county and the success that we've had in the other sports. Baseball's been one where we've, our 2 years ago.
It was just last year.
Was it last
year?
Was it last year?
Spring.
Last spring.
Yeah, I thought it was 2 years ago. So
seems like that long.
We've been very fortunate our county has to be able to send somebody to the Final Four last few years, and it goes to show you that the sports in Jefferson County is probably one of the highest in the state as far as multiple sports are concerned, and I just feel like we have so much talent in this county that never gets a chance to be acknowledged.
Without a doubt.
Jim, to piggyback your point about the time off.
Yeah.
Back when football used to play, the playoffs, what was it? Wednesday, Monday.
Oh, yeah. I hated
at the
that.
time, you want your kids to be healthy, the healthiest.
Yeah.
You didn't give them time to recuperate.
No. That's when they were doing that's when they were doing the stupid 3 teams in a district. Your last 3 games are district games, and you could have a 2-8 team win 2 games, the last 2 games of the regular season, and 2-8 you're going into the state sectionals.
Yeah,
that was ridiculous, and I used to hate that. Going Wednesday, then Monday, then Saturday, and then that I'm so glad got cleared up.
It's MSHSAA. Sometimes the decision making isn't exactly the greatest.
Well, at that time.
Who do you say?
MSHSAA.
Oh, at that time, once again, and that's where I think the coaches advisory board finally decided enough is enough. They went to that, and then it's kind of snowballed into the classifications changing every year, which I'm a big fan of. I am a very big fan of that.
I like it.
I wish they would do it a little earlier, but I also understand why they can't do it earlier. Well,
I don't
here are the private schools.
Even aside
the
from
X has to go down that road.
I'll say this.
don't
I
like
actually, controversial statement here. I don't like either, but I prefer the championship factor over the blanket
1.65, 1.35. Yeah,
I preferred that because you had sports. I'll take St. Pius for instance, using cross country. I'll use an example. Who traditionally, outside of a couple of years here and there, once every 10 years, really don't compete at that Class 3 level when we're pushed up.
Right.
And now they can be in groups where they can more or less compete a little bit easier.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I think the championship factor, it's too long.
I
think there's aspects of it that need to be adjusted. I think that it can be more inclusive for more schools if they wanted it to be. But aside from that, I think in the long run, I think it's a better option in theory than the multiplier.
I think it helps. I think it helps. I think it helps the overall keeping things consistent.
Yeah.
But my biggest frustration with it all is, when you don't know what class you're going to be in or what district you're going to be in until usually 2 weeks into your season has been begun. And I feel like, how do you schedule? When it was every 2 years, you were at least able to get the teams that maybe was in your district on a cycle where you could play them, so it was easier to seed the thing. Now, I honestly do believe this. It takes the head-to-head stuff out the window. It takes common opponents, and at this point, common opponents really doesn't make it.
Well, I will say that, and even in the sense of and Grandview falls into this sometimes, Herky and St. Pius have fallen into this in certain sports. We could go north, or we could go south.
R7 has the same issue.
R7
Right.
same. Grandview could go west.
Yes.
They could go north. They could go south.
Right.
So you could say, well, I think we're going to be here, so I'm going to go add some teams from the south because I think that's where we're going to end up being. Districts come out, and the rubber band was a little bit long that week, and you end up going north.
Well, and the other thing about it is, and I've had this happen a few times already since I've been at St. Pius, is when you are seeding and you're talking about head-to-heads and things like that, some of these coaches, they don't care about your head-to-head. They just look better. I know them.
Well, hey.
And that happened in our last seed meeting where it was, well, you beat that team by 40, but I know them better. So they seeded them higher than us.
Right.
And we beat them by 40.
But they had a better record than you did.
No, they didn't.
I'm just saying. But they had a better record than you, so I'm gonna give them the higher seed, even though you beat the team by 40 and they only beat them by 10. I'm gonna give them the higher seed because
Oh, I
they got
thought you were
15.
talking about us.
They got 15 wins compared to your 12. So you know what? They're better than you because they got more wins than you. Here's the thing: you never saw them, you never played them, so you only saw them on film, But you never played them, and I think
It'd be great if we just left those games open for our district.
You could leave 3 or 4 games open every year for district opponents.
It would have to be a set of dates that would be set ahead of time. Like, hey, you leave
Like a
4
Friday.
You leave 2 Tuesdays, these 2 Tuesdays, and these 2 Fridays in January open, so it's done before seeding happens in early February.
Right.
And you have to leave these 2 weeks open, and then you go schedule 4 teams out of your district.
And here's the thing: just make everybody have to do it on the same day. And if you can't meet, like your seed meeting, you can't meet for your seed meeting. We have technology now, so there is no excuse. That's probably the one thing that really came out of the pandemic that works is you shouldn't even have a late seed meeting.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
if you can't meet, you can't get everybody together, it's like, okay, well, if we can't meet on this day, we can do it virtually here.
Put it all in a Google Doc and get on a Zoom
Now, wait a
and do
minute.
this.
There's
Yes.
people who don't know how to use that stuff.
Well, then they shouldn't be in administration.
Exactly.
The
one thing,
Is that administration?
one other thing I'll say about the championship factor, and this is the part that I don't agree with. I don't agree with the 2-class bump. I thought what they did, the Valley Catholic, moving them from 1 to 3, was a travesty. If you're going to bump them 1. There should be a 1-class.
Shouldn't be an instant 2.
No, it should not be an instant 2.
But what's amazing is they still compete. Still competing.
No, they just ran into the
Our volleyball team in Class 4.
Yeah.
And, in volleyball, it's a little bit different story. There's not as much. It's a little bit physically you're able to do that.
Yeah.
But what about the point system when you talk about district seeding moving to other sports? Anybody have any thoughts on that one? To eliminate some of this other stuff about coaches snowballing things.
Before we get to that, can I just say something about what these guys said? When we went to our seed meeting, we had 15 wins, and the team that got seeded second in front of us had 9.
You're good. No, you're good, Coach.
Had 9 wins, and they got seeded second. We got seeded third, and I just did not understand how that happened. But hey, it's the way it goes.
Right.
We were going to play them anyway, no matter what, because
Right.
we were a 5-team district. But it bothered me. Put it that way.
Well, and I think that becomes, once again, I think if you play yourself and you open those dates up, you give yourself a chance to go head to head. You know what?
Yeah.
I feel like it would keep the manipulating the seedings process. I mean, let's be honest, that happens.
No.
It happens.
As much as we say that it doesn't happen,
Every once in a
it
while.
happens. And The problem becomes with this is when you do seed it, or you do it this way,
Doo-doo.
I feel like
you said doo-doo.
Doo-doo.
You said doo-doo.
Yeah. So I feel like the problem becomes is you're allowing coaches to manipulate the system with this way compared to being open with, hey, I'm going to keep those teams, in the same district for 2 years because I want them to see them head to head. And I think that's what's changed. That's the one thing I don't like about doing it every year is the timing of when it comes out and then where where you're at, what class you're in, because there's teams that are on the bubble. Grandview's going to be that chance year in and year out where they could be on that bubble.
Oh yeah,
classes.
Fox and Seckman every year they're on that bubble for football. Are they going to be 5 this year? Are they going to be 6 this year? But no, I agree with you, with everybody on this, and I know there's a lot of pros and cons to it. Yeah, I even agree with you, Miller. So
that's a first. Right. Mark it down.
Last spring sport thing before we jump into MSHSAA announcing the new venues for a few sports, and I know Mr. Miller is ready for this one. Track and field, and I'm going to say it right now. Jacob Meyer from Festus not being named the Metro Track and Field Student of the Year is an absolute travesty after what I saw down at the state track meet. He won the 800. He won the 1600. He won the 3200. He single-handedly gave Festus 30 points individually and then was on the 4x8. That added another 10 points.
Yep.
He is such a tremendous distance runner. He's one of the best that I've ever seen. Other than the young man that I saw from St. Elizabeth, I believe that's New Covenant Academy, that absolutely shattered the Class 2 1600 meter record. I mean, he shattered it by like 15 seconds.
Really?
I mean, it was absolutely amazing what Jacob Meyer did, and I thought when I saw that come out, I thought it was an absolute travesty that young man wasn't named the athlete of the year in track and field. With the performances that he's had in his career in all this season, and then I don't care what you say, winning 3 and then winning a relay is one of the toughest things you could do in track and field.
The one time I coached track and field, I was not aware. I didn't have any experience, by the way. It was like, hey, you want to do this? Yeah, sure. So I wasn't aware of how intense that sport was until I got into it. And then those kids are phenomenal athletes. And what you're saying to do, that's insane. You're absolutely right. For that just blows my mind that didn't get it.
Yeah, I mean, it was, and you look at just overall what the metro area did in track and field this year, especially in classes 3, 4, and 5. Westminster wins both boys and girls in 3. Parkway Central wins the girls class 4. And then Cardinal Ritter's girls wins class 5.
Yep.
I mean, and there were just so many terrific athletes that I got a chance to see down at the state track meet. I mean, it was just absolutely phenomenal. But, I wanted to single out Jacob because watching him perform the last couple years down at state and seeing the performance that he had really put a spotlight on, and I believe Festus ended up 3rd in the team race.
Yeah.
I mean, but he had 40 points of his own out of whatever. I think their team total was like 43 or 44 points. And but that young man is just absolutely tremendous. And I was uber impressed with him. And a couple of the other kids up in St. Louis that, just did terrific things. It was, track and field was such a great thing. And the one thing, in talking to a lot of coaches that have won championships, and especially won back-to-backs, is the spring sports level of play. Ever since losing that year 2 years ago to COVID, you have seen the level of play absolutely explode in not only just our area, just not Jeffco, St. Louis Metro, over on the ill side, but around the state. I mean, and you would think that, okay, those kids losing a year, it was going to come back a little bit. Those kids, and one of the comments that one of the young student athletes made to me in one of the stories I did on Scoops was, you never realize as a high school student athlete, you really don't realize what you've missed and how much you love it until it's taken away from you.
Yeah.
And to hear a student say that, a high school student,
Pretty impressive.
that resonated with me. And this young lady was not the first one to say that. I had almost every spring sport athlete that we talked about missing a year with COVID and how the bar was raised say the same thing. You just don't appreciate what you have until it's gone. And I think that really has raised the bar for the spring sports here in the area. They're just an unbelievable height. I honestly, soccer, I don't know how we're going to top what we had this year with 7 out of the 8 local teams playing in the state championships.
It's awesome.
And Ursuline was 2 minutes away from at least getting it to PKs to get a shot at Zuni South.
Coach Winkler, what are PKs?
Penalty kicks.
You see, he knows.
Okay, I didn't know what that meant.
So, but I just wanted to bring up Jacob.
It's like a free throw shooting contest at the end of a basketball game.
Yes.
Why would anybody do that?
Soccer coaches hate them too.
Oh yeah, no.
We hate them.
Ask Coach McVey about that. PKs. He likes those PKs.
I hate the fact in a game like I'll say this, Nerix and St. Don's. I hated the fact that after 110 minutes we're still scoreless and we got
120 at that point because they play an extra 10 in the playoffs.
It was 15-15.
Yeah,
80 minutes.
90 plus 30 is 120. Oh,
80.
That's right. It's 110.
Wow.
He's a coach and he doesn't even know the rules.
I teach
Thank
business.
goodness you don't teach math.
I teach with spreadsheets. They do the math for me.
But it was a shame that they had to settle that game on the dot.
They might have gone. They might have gone 200.
Oh, I was buckling in for a long night at that point. So
Done with soccer. We're done.
We're done with soccer. So, but I want to give Jacob Meyer a quick shout out and all the great kids from Jeffco. I know R7 had some great kids there. Herky had some great kids there. It was just Pius had some kids there. It was just a great year. Grandview had some kids there. It was just great to see the representation by not only the Jeffco kids but the St. Louis Metro. So, all right, I know this is the topic these guys have been wanting to dig into.
Do you have any other soccer questions for me?
No. Not just no. Hell no. I ain't got no more. I don't want to hear any more
Chris
soccer
knows
talk.
all the useless knowledge, but that's one thing he doesn't know anything about.
That would have been my next set of trivia questions for the guys. Soccer knowledge.
How much does Chris actually know?
Probably a lot of it, to be honest with you. He probably knows a lot.
If you want to stump me at any sports trivia, ask me soccer.
That would have been great.
I hear the music, sir. Are we going to a break?
We are going to a break.
All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about MSHSAA. The board of directors yesterday made some very, very bunch of basketball coaches here in the St. Louis area very happy about where the state championships are moving to, and also volleyball and some of the other sports. We'll get into that when we come back. It's the crossover show, the Coach's Box. And on the move with the Caravan, we're here live at La Pachanga's. Come on by if you're in the area. We'd love to see you and hang out and listen to some useless guys talk about stuff that's going to go off the rails eventually.
That's right.
It hasn't happened yet, but it's going to. We'll be back in a minute right here from La Pachanga's.
Whether it's residential or commercial, Home by SMCI has the right products for you. Global Plasma Solutions will attack your bacteria, mold, viruses, and even help with dust in your house. They install easily in less than 45 minutes, and it's invaluable for the rest of your life. If you're interested in any of the products they offer, give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
Wiley Agencies has 2 locations in Festus and Hillsborough to serve you. We offer home, auto, boat, motorcycle, business, life insurance, investments, and much more. We offer a customized approach unique to your situation to make sure you, your family, and assets are properly protected. We also offer great rates and savings. Give us a call today at 636-764-6294 for the Festus office or 636-333-9903 for the Hillsborough office to do an insurance review or just talk sports. If you don't have time to call, feel free to email Sean at seanwiley@allstate.com. Worried about planning for your financial future? Turn to the expert with 29 years of experience and give Brian Waits a call today. Brian Waits at Waits Financial Services specializes in investments, life insurance, retirement plans, tax planning, and even 401k rollovers. For more information, or if you just want to get a quote, call Brian at 314-374-6713 or email him at bwaits@woodburyfinancial.net.
No time to eat in? No problem. Don't feel like cooking? We'll do it for you. Need wings for your party? TJ's Bar and Grill has got you covered. TJ's is a local mom and pop establishment in Peevely, Missouri, known for their own homemade pizza sauce, barbecue sauce, and their famous TJ's wing sauce. Open 7 days a week, they are family friendly, biker friendly, and locally owned. Come by or order by phone with your credit card at 636-475-3648. TJ's Bar and Grill. We're glad you stopped by.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Whether you're buying or selling a home, let Kelly Kaufman move you. Kelly Kaufman of Real Living Gateway Real Estate brings a fresh approach with an honest, innovative, aggressive, and junk-free fee experience for all her customers. Whether you're a first-time buyer or an experienced seller, Kelly Kaufman has the tools to deliver the best client experience in the industry. Give Kelly a call today at 314-221-6090 and let her move you.
Are you looking for your forever home? Then you need to get a hold of Paige Fowler today. You can call Paige at the office at 314-394-5536, on her cell at 314-717-2345, or email paigefowler@remax.com. You can also follow Paige on Facebook at Paige Fowler Remax Results and on Instagram at Paige_Fowler_Remax. Outstanding agents, outstanding results. Remax. The world is reopening. It's time to reconnect with family and friends. Maybe a cruise is waiting for you to sail away and enjoy different ports of call. If cruising is not your thing, how about a tropical getaway with your meals and beverages included? That's where Vacations by Michael comes in. Call Michael Hicks today for a consultation at 314-496-6122. Whether you have a place in mind or just need some ideas, make Vacations by Michael your first choice for adventure. So call Michael Hicks today, 314-496-6122. It's time to travel, so let's get back out there and be a part of the fun.
Emex Transportation is a proud sponsor of the Coach's Box. Emex, the trucking company of small business. Are you looking to buy or sell a home? If so, contact Stacy Miller at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Stacy works with first-time home buyers and savvy sellers. She also specializes in working with investors, lenders, and title companies. Stacy will be there every step of the way. Contact her today at 314-606-1007 or visit stacyzmiller.com.
Thanks for watching another rib-tickling, gut-busting, epic episode of The Coach's Box. Please like, share, and follow.
And we welcome you back to La Pachangas here in beautiful Peevely, Missouri. Glad to have you here, part of our crossover show tonight with On the Move with the Caravan and the Coach's Box, all part of Off the Rails Productions. I'm Jim Powers, host of On the Move with the Caravan, and we'll go back to separating a little bit after having a lot of fun here tonight. Tuesday night, 7 o'clock at the 09 up on Hampton in South City. We're going to have our next edition of On the Move with the Caravan. We're going to get into officials, and we're going to talk about, what we need to do to get officials and different things along those lines. We're going to have a couple good friends of ours that are going to be joining us. So Tuesday night, right here on YouTube Live, you'll be able to watch the show. And if you're in the South City area, we'd love to see you. We'd love for you to stop by. It'll be a lot of fun. Coach Winkler, if you want to make the drive up and hang out, come on up and you can hang out with us. We'd love to have you. Kevin, you've got the open invite anytime. It's unlike this show where me and you have to beg to come into the show.
Yeah, I'm actually coaching fourth grade softball that night.
Oh, yeah. There you go. So
that is a little bit more important.
That is more important.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
We
Tuesday
got games
night
to win, you know.
May not.
There you go.
It may
Absolutely.
be. It may be more organized than Tuesday night.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with
What are you trying to say?
No. We're talking about the guests that are going to join us. That's
Who's our guest?
oh,
You didn't even tell me.
Surprise!
surprise.
Okay.
Just make sure you have that district film from a couple years ago.
Please let it be
certain
Charles.
official's going to want
Please
to
let it be
see
Charles.
No, it's
Please
not.
let it be
No,
Charles.
it's not.
Okay.
Because if
You know the one official that wants to see that district final again, so it can verify once again for the 950th time that he got the call right.
You may be.
There-
You're
there's a
being very
picture.
nice to him.
there's a picture of the kid with the ball in his hand,
I know.
and the clock
We've all
is
seen
all
it.
zeros.
We've all seen it.
Pictures.
got the call
Pictures have
right.
about
Got the call
0.8%
right.
chance of being behind.
Oh,
But the
jeez.
I'd be
After
more
reviewing the play,
After further review,
better-
Blair is wrong.
the better explanation is the fact
Is that what John Calipari
Herky-
says during a
Herky
during
can't
a
spring
during a
for the
replay in a
scoreboard
Cats
to have
game?
the tenths of a seconds on that?
So anyway,
all that public school money,
They can't even get tenths of a second on their scoreboard.
oh God, we thought it was going to
Hey,
stay on the rails.
Let me
It
tell you
just
something.
went off the
Instead of-
rails
Let
right
me
there.
tell you something.
Here
If
we
it
go.
had the tenth of a second up there, you wouldn't have won a district championship.
butter.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't know
You don't
about
even
that
know.
I
either.
don't know about that either.
You don't even know.
That
You
ball
don't-
was
it-
firmly
Wait,
planted
if I
in that
would've
kid's
put that
palm.
up there.
Hey, listen.
Hey, and you better be lucky that I wasn't running the clock.
And I've had experience with that.
Hey, I've played at St. Vincent.
Coach
I've had
Winkler?
experience with that too.
Coming to life.
Yes, I've been Valoroid down at St. Vincent as well, where you go down there to play a triple header.
None of that happens.
And he has to keep the scorebook. He's running the clock. He coaches all three teams, and he kicks your tail in all three games.
None of that ever happens in Perryville, does it, Coach Winkler?
It never happened when I was there.
How many officials' last names were Valoroid? Tell the truth.
Oh,
They're not Valroy. It's the cousins.
It's the cousin of the nephew of the cousin of the grandpa.
We've already been
that's-
over this.
Yes.
He's explained his
Yes.
family tree and who's
Yes,
been
it's
an
the
official
official.
to me.
The two-man crew's names are Val and Leroy.
we'll get into a lot more of this on Tuesday night on the move with the Caravan at the 09 Pub. We'll come on up.
Are you
It'll
sure?
be a
Will
lot
we
of time.
really get that off the rails?
Yes. Yes, it's going to happen.
With these guests, yes.
Yes, it will.
Cool.
So let's
Down
get
with
back.
it.
Let's get back to our next topic. MSHSAA came out yesterday. Their board of directors met earlier in late May. What they call request for proposals was brought into MSHSAA's office for basketball, wrestling, volleyball, and cross country. The board of directors met yesterday after looking through those, and state basketball is going to be returning to Mizzou Arena and the old barn in 23-24. In talking to some people, it's not that Springfield did a bad job. Springfield has done a terrific job in hosting. JQH is a wonderful facility. Hammond Student Center is fantastic. The two are connected, so you don't have to go outside to go between the two. But Mizzou and Columbia Sports and Convention Bureau, I think realized when they lost it back in 17 that they made a tragic mistake. And with the new athletic director, who really is very forward thinking about getting high school students on to that campus and in their facilities, they made a great proposal. And so basketball will move back over to Columbia in 2 years, 23-24. So next year it'll be at Springfield. Last year in Springfield this coming school year, and then it'll move. State volleyball.
Yes.
You just
so excited.
You are happy about it because you get to go to Shakespeare's Pizza now.
Well, that I don't like going all the way down to Springfield. I think the state. I personally feel like the state championships of all the sports, and I understand there's good venues everywhere for different things. The state championships be in the center of the state.
Thank
and
you.
You have
Thank you.
You
For
have
all.
the most prestigious, largest
I agree.
Division I university.
Flagship.
Good word. Flagship college.
I would agree.
That's where it should be. There's
would
no
agree.
ifs, ands, or buts about it. And you're right. JQH, the Hammond Center, they're great. But it's not the center of the state.
Yeah.
So okay, listen, if your school is close to Columbia, yeah, you have the advantage as far as driving and fans and
Sure.
stuff. How many years has it been in Springfield for basketball? I mean, you got all of these Springfield schools. They have the advantage. I'm just telling you, I hate it. I wanted it in the center of the state. Especially if you think about it, Northwest Missouri has to drive all the way down there.
Absolutely.
And I mean, come on. It needs to be in the middle of the state.
I get it. And once again, a lot of it has to do, and me and Kevin were trading texts last night about soccer or softball being in Columbia. The unfortunate thing is for softball, being a fall sport, it's tough for Mizzou to be able to do it. Number one, you're dodging when football's playing, if they got a home game. But number two, that's typically when they'll aerate the field, they'll dig up the dirt, and get it ready for the spring.
And you need multiple fields in order to run these. Without it taking up the whole week. So while I would like to have the state championship games at Mizzou Stadium, it's tough to do because it's a October weekend, which is generally falls right around homecoming time for Mizzou.
Typically, you're right.
Right in that area. So I understand why they don't want to do it. Still doesn't mean I don't want it there.
Sure.
But I know why they can't.
Right.
And state association, what's its address?
Oh, absolutely.
So,
absolutely. So basketball moves. Volleyball will stay down at Cape Girardeau for at least 23-24, 24-25. There's a new facility being built in St. Joe's, Missouri that is supposedly going to be off the chart. And the board has asked them to take a look at that. Once again, is that going to happen? We don't know. The bad thing with volleyball going to Columbia at Mizzou, if you're dealing with the crossover. You're dealing with basketball practices. Where are you going to put Mizzou's basketball teams? Well, they play their early season games,
but it's still early November, which still falls into
football.
Football, which means, and they all share those same parking spaces around all those Mizzou Arena, Memorial Stadium. Plus, they're doing that construction.
And plus, they don't even Mizzou Arena for volleyball is not even set up for volleyball. They do not have the holes in the court.
Right. Yeah.
To put the net.
It's all
that's
Hearns. Yeah. Right. So they're just asking. The board is just asking for them to go take a look at it. So that's what's going on with that.
I hated when they had volleyball at Central Missouri
years ago.
Yeah, I know. I've went to the state volleyball championships in Central Missouri.
It was actually really nice when it was in Kansas City too.
They did a really nice job.
Kemper Arena did a really nice job there. Right. And Cape does a really good job down there as well.
They do. I've been
Show-Me Center.
It's like going.
Represent.
It's like going to, but it's like going to St. Joe's.
Right.
For the other half of the state. We think about going to St. Joe's. The Kansas City schools think about going to Cape.
Right.
Yeah, big difference.
Right. Yeah. Cross country is going to stay in Columbia. Which at that brand new facility,
at the Gans Center, at the Gans.
I mean, I had a chance to see it when
never go anywhere.
The SEC had when they first opened it. What the very first event that was on that course was the SEC championship, and it was on TV. It's one of the few times that you could see different parts of the course live without somebody riding in the back of a gate or trying to hold a camera steady, and all you're seeing is this. So cross country is going to stay at Gans, which I think is terrific.
It should never move from
How do they film across country?
They literally have fiber ran throughout the course, and they have camera stands all the way around that are built with fiber that everything runs into Mizzou Arena, and they actually produce everything out of Mizzou Arena. Little known fact, football games at Faroe, and I'm not talking CBS or ESPN. If they get... back in the old days before the SEC took place, some of these oddball games that would get put on, you'd have to roll in 2 trucks. You would have to roll in, a garbage load of people. Now, everything is fiber ran into Mizzou Arena. Mm-hmm. They have a state-of-the-art television production unit in Mizzou Arena that has everything from Faroe ran into it, everything from Hearns ran into it, everything from Taylor Stadium ran over to it, the softball field. It's unbelievable.
So what you're saying is with all of this, they have a lot of value put into their broadcasting.
Yes.
Okay. I mean,
but
I mean, it's pretty expensive for all that value.
With that, obviously SEC and and
like that.
you know what they've had to do with the SEC network and all that. They had to make those upgrades, and they did a terrific job. And when they built Gans, they made sure that, you know, if they ever get the SEC or, you know, the Midwest, you know, cross-country regional,
It's going to happen.
It's going to. And I think at one point you're going to see
actually
the
get a
Division I national championship there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Without a doubt.
It's
every 1K,
it's a premier course.
you get live results
Yeah.
at every 1K. When they go underneath it, it pops up the live results.
Large video
Yeah.
board.
Yeah.
the whole
And they
huge.
don't have to roll in all these companies and everything to do it and run millions of, you know, miles of cable. It's all wired already. That's what they did
It's
when they built it.
spectator friendly because
Very.
there's plenty of areas
Very.
to view.
Very.
They should never, short of that place lighting on fire and falling
Right.
apart, they should never move that cross.
No, I agree with you 100%.
Totally.
The place actually be lit on fire.
It is a bunch of grass.
Well, you got a bunch of trees. You
Trees,
never know.
yeah, so it could.
So cross country
Theoretically.
will stay in Columbia. Boys wrestling will stay at Mizzou, which is terrific. They do a great job with it.
So, are they running wrestling and basketball within a couple of weeks of each other?
It's like a
at the Herculaneum?
3 week. It's a
Is there
3-week break.
window?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I feel
and
like
then-
those should be closer since they're the same season.
Well,
like
the-
basketball is 3 weeks too long or something. like that.
It's 2 weeks too long.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Totally agree with you.
Cut a week off in the front, cut a week off in the
Yep.
back.
Yep.
And kids want to play games anyway. Hell, who wants to practice?
Right.
Practice.
So practice. Somebody say practice.
Coach, what do you think?
I have no opinion on it. When you get to be my age, you kind of appreciate every week you can get. So you know.
He takes advantage of any extra week he can have.
Coach McVey, I hope
That
you're
just-
paying attention to this.
That just means 14 more afternoon naps before I have to go to practice.
There it is. At least there's somebody sitting at this table that believes in quiet time between 2 and 4 in the afternoon. Unlike some people sitting at the end of the table that text me all the time.
Jim,
I don't know who you're talking
you're
about.
asleep at all points of the day. I don't even know how you get anything done.
He sends him a
Shouldn't
message
Chris
at
be
9
driving
a.m.
a bus
9 a.m.
between 2
I'm
and 4?
still sleeping.
I'm still asleeping.
1 p.m. I'm going to take my nap.
It's quiet time.
4 p.m.
It's quiet time. Tim, I'm old. I'm right there with you. I need that little afternoon break.
I was going to say it.
Afternoon. I think it
I didn't
starts
know
at
if he
8
was talking
a.m.
about
and
you or
goes
me.
till 2
Oh,
or
no,
3.
he's talking about me.
Yeah, he could have been talking about me, too.
No. So, boys wrestling will stay at Mizzou. Girls wrestling, MSHSAA is going to go out to Kansas City to Hy-Vee Arena in Independence and look at that because they're going to girls wrestling is expanding to 2 years, 2 classes, excuse me.
Yes.
And Mizzou, if you expand the girls to 2 classes, you need to add 2 more days
Yeah.
onto wrestling. And Mizzou can't do it. Mizzou can't shut their gym down for a total of 5 days because of basketball going on. So the girls are going to have a standalone, which I think is great.
So it's a week before the boys, though, right?
I think they didn't come out with a date yet, but it sounds like it's going to be the weekend before.
That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough for smaller schools to do that. In a lot of instances, that they share coaches, and then you know those coaches have to spend that time with the girls instead of necessarily preparing their boys.
Or
so
sectionals.
there's sectionals.
Right.
So that's going to be a balancing act. That's tough for those smaller schools.
It's going to be a balance, and even if you have them going both at the same weekend,
It's tough.
It's
no
the
matter
same
what.
thing. Yeah, it's going to be tough no matter what. But I think with what they're doing with girls wrestling and the way it's just exploded, I think it's phenomenal. I think it's giving those ladies another opportunity, and I think it's going to be great. And they're going to be on their own platform, on their own stage, and I think that's just going to be unbelievable. So, but those were the things that came out of the meeting yesterday. Once again,
Kevin, God, sorry to interrupt you, Jim, but Coach Jarvis says that you need to go on assignment.
Says the guy who's not here.
Too soon.
He has a good reason.
Too
He has a
soon.
good reason.
yeah, but you could have waited at least.
What is it?
I always got your back,
I
Coach
would have
Jarvis.
waited at
I
least another
always
half
got your
hour
back.
for that one.
You can tell
I
it's
would have
feeling
waited for
That's
better.
all right. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
So
Back his own
basketball
self.
movement,
Yes.
I
yes.
think it's a great thing. And I think for all of us, I think it's tremendous because as much as JQA and Hammonds is fantastic, those kids, a lot of them grew up hearing about Norm Stewart. A lot of them grew up, rooting for the Tigers, and now they get the opportunity to play at Mizzou. at the old barn, which I still love the old barn for basketball. My gosh, you put classes 1 and 2 over there, and they bring everybody, and it just gets so loud, and it's just an unbelievable atmosphere. So I really think the board of directors got this one right. And once again, I take my hat off to Mizzou's athletic director and the Columbia Sports Commission for making it happen, for realizing that, they should have did a better job with the RFP, back in 17. And now getting it back, I think it's going to be tremendous. And I know all of us, the basketball coaches over here, we love the fact that it's going to go back there.
Anytime you can get state championships back in Columbia, I think they should do it if it's right for the sport. And I can't think of any reason why this is not right for the sport of basketball in Missouri.
I would agree.
To be playing at those 2 arenas during those days.
Yeah.
Jim, do you really think kids these days know who Norm Stewart is?
I don't think the kids know so much, but I think mom and dad knows.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And, back when it was there, before 17, I will tell you this much. Norm would come to those games. Norm would make it, when his health was good, he would make it a point to come and see those games. And, the parents, the kids may not know so much, but those parents, oh my gosh, they see Norm walk in. Norm is still God in the state of Missouri. He is. I mean, I do the coaches, the coaches versus cancer, the 48 hours. At any time Norm walks in, even last year with his health not good, he was in a walker, wasn't able to walk around like he normally would do, you would see everybody, coaches, parents, they gravitated towards Norm.
Yeah.
Because, Norm lights up the room. Even to this day, Norm lights up the room. And to just sit there and just talk to him. I get a chance to interview him during that 48 hours. And in all honesty, in all my years of broadcasting, when I get a chance to talk to him, that is still number 1 on my list.
Right.
And I've done some cool stuff, but that is still number 1 on my list because even when I lived in Ohio, I knew about Norm. I knew about the wars that him and Lou Henson had. You can't not know him if you're a college basketball junkie.
I would agree.
And having him to be there and to see those kids, and I think, I hope and I not, hope that, he's able to be at the 48 hours this year. It's going to be great if he is, but, it's just great that he's going to be able to hopefully see one more state championship being played on the court that is named after him. And I think that's terrific.
That's a cool thing.
I mean, I was able to, fortunate a couple of years ago to be able to play in that, and what an awesome event, and just to be around that. We got fortunate enough to be able to play the 2 a.m. game, and I mean, just an experience of a lifetime.
I think I just left and went to my hotel to finally get some sleep for 3 hours.
Well, you didn't miss much. I promise you that.
When were you without sleep?
Yeah.
You sleep all the damn time.
Here we go.
Catching up since then.
So,
I'm just now going to go to bed.
off the
I
rails.
can tell you that experience. I wish they would do more of that. I wish they would do the Norm Stewart Classic multiple times throughout the year and let teams come and experience that. Because I feel like that is an experience that should be available for more than just a total of 24 schools or whatever the case may be, because
there will be news in the next 3 weeks.
I can't wait for it, because I think it's an awesome thing, and I know you were fortunate enough to do it.
It will be,
and you were on the same side as me. But,
it will be on the move with the Caravan when I'm allowed to officially say it.
Kind of, sort of heard it here first.
Yeah, you kind of, sort of heard it on the crossover.
On the crossover.
But yeah, there's going to be some big changes coming up this year. I will say that. I'm not going to go into specifics yet.
Can you pull any strings to where we can play in it? And
never know.
That's what I'd like to try to do.
Never know.
But I tell you though, that just the understanding of the impact that Norm Stewart had on the game of basketball in the state of Missouri is unbelievable, because
without a doubt.
There's so many people out there that these young kids, like you said, most of them don't even know who the guy is. But I can guarantee you that anybody that's been around the game long enough knows who Norm Stewart is.
Absolutely.
That's just the impact that he had. I mean, they don't necessarily know how many maybe wins he's had, or how many opportunities he's been to the NCAA tournament or whatever, but they know who he is as in general. So I think that says a lot. Thanks for the music. I appreciate it.
No, that is so wrong because you knew what more site I was going to talk about that me and Kevin wanted to talk. This is him saying we're going to a break and we're not going to get to it.
We're going to do it when we come back.
It's the forbidden sport.
I will say this, and I hope it happens. With the new
I would agree,
at
Coach
FC.
Jarvis. I want to play in it. Let's all get in it together and have a St. Pius Herculaneum Grandview experience.
Boy.
Yes,
Without a doubt. Absolutely.
Let's drive 4 hours to just play each other.
I'm going to sneak it in real quick.
At 2 a.m. in the morning, I'm perfectly fine with that.
On sites, I hope that soccer, I love Soccer Park, but I hope that MSHSAA and St. Louis FC can come up with something so those kids can play at that brand new stadium.
Especially with having multiple fields right across the street. I
Absolutely.
think it'd be perfect for it.
When we come back, we're going to talk Cardinals and we're going to talk U.S. Open. You're watching live from La Pachanga. It's the crossover show on the move with the Caravan and the Coach's Box, all part of Off the Rails Productions. We're live at La Pachanga. We'll be back in a moment.
Whether it's residential or commercial, Home by SMCI has the right products for you. Global Plasma Solutions will attack your bacteria, mold, viruses, and even help with dust in your house. They install easily in less than 45 minutes, and it's invaluable for the rest of your life. If you're interested in any of the products they offer, give Home by SMCI a call today at 636-337-4444 or email them at service@homebysmci.com.
Wiley Agencies has 2 locations in Festus and Hillsborough to serve you. We offer home, auto, boat, motorcycle, business, life insurance, investments, and much more. We offer a customized approach unique to your situation to make sure you, your family, and assets are properly protected. We also offer great rates and savings. Give us a call today at 636-764-6294 for the Festus office or 636-333-9903 for the Hillsborough office to do an insurance review or just talk sports. If you don't have time to call, feel free to email Sean at SeanWiley@allstate.com. Worried about planning for your financial future? Turn to the expert with 29 years of experience and give Brian Waits a call today. Brian Waits at Waits Financial Services specializes in investments, life insurance, retirement plans, tax planning, and even 401k rollovers. For more information, or if you just want to get a quote, call Brian at 314-374-6713 or email him at bwaits@woodburyfinancial.net.
No time to eat in? No problem. Don't feel like cooking? We'll do it for you. Need wings for your party? TJ's Bar and Grill has got you covered. TJ's is a local mom and pop establishment in Peevely, Missouri, known for their own homemade pizza sauce, barbecue sauce, and their famous TJ's wing sauce. Open 7 days a week, they are family friendly, biker friendly, and locally owned. Come by or order by phone with your credit card at 636-475-3648. TJ's Bar and Grill. We're glad you stopped by.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Whether you're buying or selling a home, let Kelly Kaufman move you. Kelly Kaufman of Real Living Gateway Real Estate brings a fresh approach with an honest, innovative, aggressive, and junk-free fee experience for all her customers. Whether you're a first-time buyer or an experienced seller, Kelly Kaufman has the tools to deliver the best client experience in the industry. Give Kelly a call today at 314-221-6090 and let her move you.
Are you looking for your forever home? Then you need to get a hold of Paige Fowler today. You can call Paige at the office at 314-394-5536, on her cell at 314-717-2345, or email paigefowler@remax.com. You can also follow Paige on Facebook, Paige Fowler Remax Results, and on Instagram at Paige_Fowler_Remax. Outstanding agents, outstanding results. Remax.
The world is reopening. It's time to reconnect with family and friends. Maybe a cruise is waiting for you to sail away and enjoy different ports of call. If cruising is not your thing, how about a tropical getaway with your meals and beverages included? That's where Vacations by Michael comes in. Call Michael Hicks today for a consultation at 314-496-6122. Whether you have a place in mind or just need some ideas, make Vacations by Michael your first choice for adventure. So call Michael Hicks today, 314-496-6122. It's time to travel, so let's get back out there and be a part of the fun.
Emex Transportation is a proud sponsor of the Coach's Box. Emex, the trucking company of small business. Are you looking to buy or sell a home? If so, contact Stacy Miller at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. Stacy works with first-time home buyers and savvy sellers. She also specializes in working with investors, lenders, and title companies. Stacy will be there every step of the way. Contact her today at 314-606-1007 or visit stacyzmiller.com.
Thanks for watching another rib-tickling, gut-busting, epic episode of The Coach's Box. Please like, share, and follow.
And we welcome you back to the Pachangas here in Peevely, as it's a crossover show on the move with the Caravan and the Coach's Box, brought to you by Off the Rails Productions. I'm Jim Powers. We got Kevin Halley next to me here, Riley Blair, Coach Tim Winkler from Grandview, and then there's that guy down there. Now, Chris Miller, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that lovely introduction.
Once again, next Thursday for the Coach's Box.
Next Thursday for the Coach's Box.
And then Tuesday for On the Move with the Caravan. Coach's Box will be here at La Pachangas.
Yes.
On the Move with the Caravan will be at the 09 Pub Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. We'll have everything live for you right here on YouTube Live. Make sure you subscribe if you like it. And we would love for you to subscribe.
Even if you don't
I
like
said it,
subscribe.
and yes, I did finally subscribe. Okay? I finally did it.
Oh, my gosh.
Whether you like it or not, just subscribe.
Listen, if you don't like the video, just hit dislike. It's okay, too. We'll take it.
We'll take a dislike.
We'll take a dislike, absolutely.
If you don't like it. It's fine.
Live a little.
As long as you subscribe, we'll be good.
As the intro says, live a little.
Yeah, just have some fun.
Rib tickling.
I don't care. We love the haters. By the way, hey, we have over 1,000 TikTok followers, just so you're aware.
TikTok
Yeah,
followers.
TikTok. That's right.
As I cringe when he says
The
TikTok.
Coach's
I
Box.
am not one of them.
No, I am not one of them either, and I will not be one of them either.
Listen,
I am
all
not,
kinds
I
of
am not a
against having
TikTok
TikTok.
guy.
I don't have TikTok.
I don't even
Still
have
don't like
Instagram.
it, but we're on it.
I have Instagram.
I don't have Instagram.
But
Give me Twitter, give me Facebook. I'll take YouTube, and then I'm a happy camper.
Okay, but
Instagram.
I'm one less.
I'm just
Jim.
telling you.
I don't have the Instagram.
Hey, we're on
can't keep
everything.
up with that.
Listen, here, I'm a little overlay here.
Oh,
you can
boy.
subscribe, follow, and watch us on Facebook, because we have a lot of stuff still there.
I can't believe
YouTube.
I said subscribe before he did.
That's right. You're host of the show.
Shocks me.
Twitter, you can catch some of our stuff on TikTok, or you can do the audio only, and we are on Apple, Spotify, and for Kevin especially, Google Podcasts. There you go.
I drank the
Just like
Google
that.
Kool-Aid.
Yes, you do. I know.
Which I got to find out for you if Inside the Lines podcast, shameless plug for scoopsfordannymac.com, is on
Totally
there.
fine.
So.
We'll allow it.
Yeah, you better allow it. So, all right, last segment. Let's get into, speaking of Scoops with Danny Mac, the Cardinals and Dan McLaughlin and the crew are in Boston for a 3-game series, and then they'll go for a big one next week. They'll head over to Milwaukee for a 3-game set. So
Big series.
let's get into Jack Flaherty last night.
Garbage.
I was not a fan. I
Garbage.
thought they rushed him. I don't think they should have brought him up when they did.
They let Flaherty talk him. Flaherty talked him into letting it happen.
Sure
They
he
were
did.
going to give him another rehab assignment.
They should have.
And they should have.
Yes.
I agree.
So it's like letting a 13-year-old decide where they're going to go
Why
to
do
school.
you got? Why does he get any say on anything? Who the hell is he? Oh, he's the future. No, he's not.
man.
He's the guy until his arbitration time is up, and he's the future free agent.
This is the one time Mo got it right and did not sign a player to an extension.
I agree, yeah.
Yeah.
One of
Because
the few
he
times.
is losing value quickly. he's leaving at the end. He's going to sign with a team in California because that's where he wants to be.
Right.
Anyway.
I would trade him.
He wants to be with the Dodgers or the Angels because
Right.
he wants to be out in L.A.
Let him go.
And you may trade him before we get to that point. He might be a decent piece at the trade deadline for somebody that's got, that's middle of the pack that needs to dump some salary.
Hey, I'll tell you this, and I know anytime we talk about the Cardinals, I probably sound like I'm old school George Steinbrenner and just like moving people around. That's exactly what I would do. If you're not performing, I got to get somebody who is. I've got to go get people who can perform consistently, stay healthy. If you can't play the game because you're always hurt, then you're not of any value. Why do I want to give millions of dollars to some ass clown who can't stay healthy enough, and all he does is run his mouth and sit there and piss and moan about the organization? That's what Jack Flaherty does. He sits there and piss and moans about everything, and he isn't healthy. You have no leverage to do anything. Just go out there and pitch, do whatever the hell you're told to do, and just take care of business. Then let your play do the talking, not your flapper.
There's a great line from Little Big League in the movie where the guy goes, "So what's the going rate for a 20 or a 30-year-old who can't get anybody out anymore?" That's exactly what this is. He's still got some time on his side because he's still, what is he, 27? 28,
25,
maybe?
26.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But he couldn't get anybody out. He couldn't even throw anybody out at first base.
Wait. He was throwing 94, 95, and it dipped down to 89 on his fastball. And he was, I just tried to take something off.
Last time he did this, he got sent back down because he had arm, he had an elbow issue.
Yeah,
which
it happened to Reyes.
Who was the guy in Moneyball that they brought in, couldn't throw the ball, had to play first base?
Hatterberg.
Hatterberg.
Chris Pratt.
Can you play first base? Tell him how easy it is. It's incredibly
hard. I know. And Brad Pitt's look like, one of the best movies ever. But that's what Flaherty's playing himself into. I mean, I hate to say it. I like Jack Flaherty, and when he was good, he was really good.
Yeah.
But this arm injury and this shoulder injury, whatever it is, it could end his career.
Well,
sure.
I think
he can't be a guy.
This is the problem.
Well, and that's part of the issue too. And when he
doesn't know when to shut this up.
When Mormal said, "Well, we had a long conversation, and I trust my players." I hope after last night, Ollie, you change your stance on that because you got totally railroaded into throwing Flaherty out there, and you knew 60 pitch count against Pittsburgh. I get it. Are you going to be able to trot him out there next Tuesday night against Milwaukee in a series that is going to be pivotal? And I know it's only June.
At Milwaukee.
At Milwaukee,
Still
you're
pivotal.
coming off of a 3-game series against Boston, and I don't care. Boston is still really good.
Yeah.
They're shuffling their feet a little bit, but it's at home in Fenway.
Wait a minute. When your division is the AL East,
Oh yeah,
and your record isn't very good, you're probably still pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
you're going to trot him out there next Tuesday night in Milwaukee at Miller Park after what he did last night? I don't think so.
He got outpitched by Oviedo.
Yeah,
Oviedo looked really good.
Pittsburgh. I mean, come on.
Okay.
We should have swept that series.
Flaherty.
And we almost did. I mean, and put it this way. And we're going to get into Goldie here in a second. But if you don't have the middle of that order right now, they lose that game last night 6-0.
Oh, yeah.
Without any doubt.
Totally.
And that. At least you had an offense that at least got you tied at 4-4, and then, the bullpen coughed it up, which I've said it on this show. I've said it to other people. I'm still not 100% sold on the back end of that bullpen.
I'm not 100% sold on the depth of the bullpen. I'm okay with some of the pieces that they have.
I'm okay with some of the pieces, but I'm just not.
McFarland is the next coming of Seth Maness.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my
He's
goodness.
toast.
Yes,
He's got to go.
He's a guy they pulled off the bargain bin last year.
Sure.
And he played a very pivotal role for them.
But he played well last year, but now he got film.
He's been exposed.
Yep.
He's got film on him. Flaherty, you can't even move him to the bullpen because he's so fragile. You can't get him up and down every day to warm up.
If you put him in the bullpen,
the Reyes conundrum.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's a great comparison. Plus, here's the thing too, Flaherty, you put him back in the bullpen as either your 8th inning guy or your closer, his confidence will go absolutely out the window, and you'll be lucky. He'll throw 95, 96, even when he gets his arm healthy. He'll throw heat. but his confidence, like he won't be able to find them. He won't be. He
It
will
sounds
not
like
even
he
come
needs to
close.
figure out something else to do in life. If his confidence is that bad, and he's a pitcher.
Yeah, he's got to get this right now first because this injury's totally got him.
That's
out of
never
whack.
going to happen.
I know.
I think this is a bigger problem with the Cardinals organization in general because every year we say, well, the bullpen's good. We've got guys who can throw the ball, but we don't. It seems like our bullpen runs out of gas middle of the year, or they're overused.
The
or
top
guys
three
like that.
get overused.
Yes. So what? I mean, the problem with that, the problem with is going to this whole analytical BS where you're saying, well, I want guys to be
Billy
seen
Bean.
3 times through.
Billy Bean.
Yeah, but here's the problem.
Love it.
Here's the problem. When you're doing that and your starters aren't going 6 and 7 innings because you pulled them before they need to be pulled, you put more pressure on the bullpen. You don't have the arms to do it.
Nope.
You don't have it. You don't. The innings eaters guys that we had when we had the MV3.
Yeah.
Those guys, when you had even Woody Williams and you had Suppan, those guys are going to give you 7. I got 7 for you, Skip. That's how I'm going to do it.
Yeah, right.
Plus, and you have the other guys, the Carpenters.
They went 7 even when they were hitting for themselves, and you didn't throw in that strategy of when do I pull the pitcher to get.
Yep.
Yeah,
Now
the
with
double switch.
Now with the DH, you can leave that pitcher in there as long as they can go.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about the pitcher spot coming up. I mean,
But
to me, it's
He's
just
throwing well, leaving
well,
the
And I also think
Marmol got chastised earlier this week
Oh,
because
yeah.
he didn't use one of the big 3 in a game in a pivotal point
Yeah.
because he said, "Listen, I can't throw them every day," and they chastise him, and then he uses them, and they chastise him for overusing them.
But it's because the bullpen is being overused.
Yeah.
You're taking guys out of your bullpen and making them your 5th starter, like Palante or whatever his name is. Palante.
Right.
He pitched.
He would be
He's a star.
who would be the 4th guy in that
Yeah.
in that bullpen with the big 3.
But he started a game because they tried the opener stuff. No.
it only works if you pair them. If they go 3 and you pair them with a starter.
Yes.
Well,
But
our
that's the
bullpen
thing. You're
guys-
not doing
Wait,
it.
you mean Jordan Hicks isn't going to be a starter?
That's a guy we could
Yeah.
send down
Oh,
or trade.
But there's another,
again,
you know,
the Reyes conundrum with him.
yeah.
Well, how many times you hear people say, if Flaherty could get back to the second half of 19, if.
If and buts were candy and nuts, Christmas would be all year.
Yeah.
That's right. That's true.
If
Without
a
a
frog
doubt.
had wings, he'd bump his ass on the ceiling. I can do this all day.
I've never heard that one.
Just saying.
Is that South Island?
But our
I heard him yell at
yeah,
practice one day last year.
That's Panthers. But
Glad you didn't say the other stuff you heard in practice.
I avoid the gym when you practice,
Yeah,
mainly because you're so
smart.
late.
yes.
Not
I'm
ever
gone
late.
home
Wow.
and started going to bed by the time you
Ask
practice.
McVey. He'll certainly
Oh,
tell
yeah.
you that.
He
McVay's
texted
having
me.
his 40th birthday celebration tonight.
He's not watching this.
He's not
No,
watching
he is
this.
yet.
He's got a pack of Zima. He's hanging out with his wife, his kid. He's living the life. The
A
big 4-0.
pack of Zima.
Wow.
Bartles and James.
God love him.
Oh, that's a throwback.
We're talking about the Cardinals in the bullpen. So in the back five,
Riley, Brett, that's a rarity. Riley bringing us back on the
Rail
rails.
back on.
Scene.
But the last 5 years, we've had a solid guy out of the bullpen through July, through the All-Star break. And then as soon as the All-Star break is over, it seems like our bullpen goes to shit quickly.
Can't say that
And well, it's not a family show right now.
right now. You get
So,
one.
And
you know,
yes, we've gone back off the rails.
and I feel like that has to do with because we are so cautious with our starting pitching early in the year. We feel like we don't allow them to go. If they're going deep, we don't allow them to go deep. We pull them at 6, and we use those guys
Throw
7th, 8th, and 9th.
Throw
inning.
'em.
Like, you know what? They're big league guys, and if they didn't do the work on the off season to keep their arm, that's on them. Like, that's on them at this point. Why are we continue babying these guys that are making millions and millions and
Because they're
millions
making millions
and
of
dollars?
Millions
They're an
of
investment.
dollars.
Yeah.
Well, this
I'm sorry, I
Well,
don't care
agree,
if it's been an
I
investment.
agree with you. I agree
It's
with you.
ridiculous.
That's like what you'll hear.
Well,
I know.
this
So
could
much
also come back.
invested in this
This
guy.
also
Yeah.
come back to
Yeah.
roster construction at this point. If you're going to go less with your starters, and we now have the DH, and you have guys like Yepes and Donovan who can play all over the field, you can drop 1 or 2 bench positions for additional. I know they have that max on number of pitchers you can have. Is it 14?
14.
Why? I don't know. Do the Cardinals even have 14 pitchers?
13.
13.
13.
I'm telling you, they need to roster construction. They can use an extra arm in there for these things. Go to the 6-man rotation if you want to do that and you want to go shorter.
Yeah,
I agree.
I know what some people are going to say, but roster construction, because you can use Yepes to play 2 outfield spots and 2 infield spots, and
Agreed.
Donovan can play 3 outfield spots and 4 infield spots.
Donovan can play anywhere.
This is the year we definitely need to be doing.
And then now the fact that we all know that Tommy Edman can play 3 or 4 spots on the field.
Right.
Does anybody else think that Tommy Edman's an elite player now?
I do.
I do.
When
He's
he made-
leading the league in WAR.
When he
Right,
made
yeah,
the
yes,
that.
he made that great catch where he literally had to jump
Yeah.
that high. I'm like, holy hell!
Gorman's playing some defense now. That can do some things.
Gorman took that one off the bag
in the bare hand.
On the bare hand.
He made that
that's
diving
a play.
He made that diving play to his left on the
Yeah.
outfield grass
That
and
was
made that throw. That
phenomenal.
So,
Holy
so tell me
so-
he
so-
can.
so-
So we have the offense to do it. Why do we have certain people sitting around? Let's say Dickerson when he gets healthy and they decide to bring him back or something like that. Fill that with a pitcher instead and have a shorter bench. You don't need it.
Why not just take those assets and trade them for things you need, like a 5th starter?
Like the barter system?
You know what I think it's what it's like. You trade things for things you need. That is barter.
That never
Yeah.
happens.
So we started kicking around some of the players, and real quick,
I
Boston.
definitely kicked them.
Boston's in a lot of trouble. They're down 54-39 at the half against Golden State. That series could end tonight, and
Bet it does.
they're down 15 at half. I don't see Jason bringing the crew back.
I'd agree.
Hey, Otto Porter, baby.
There you go. So
Pride of Scott County, Central Missouri.
Goldie, wow. I mean, just I don't know what other words to even come close to describing what he has done over the last month, other than, number one, he better be the starting in the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Number 2, he better be in consideration at this point for NL Player of the Year.
Oh, I totally
The
agree.
way he has been playing. Now, my question is, can he continue this pace?
Well, think about it. He's doing this after starting really slow.
Mm-hmm.
Like his start was awful. Arenado was killing it.
Now
and
they
then they
flip-flop.
flipped, and he's killing it.
I'm surprised that with the way the Goldschmidt is hitting, Arenado has not had a better pickup after May. Because who wants to throw? You're trying to throw around Goldschmidt at this point.
Why? Yeah. Why not?
And Arenado's got to be getting a healthy dose of fastballs. And if he's not, now O'Neill has started to hit behind him
Right.
because he's getting those healthy dose of fastballs that they're not giving to Goldschmidt and Arenado.
I just think they're throwing a bunch of trash to everybody, and sometimes we're just swinging out of our shoes.
True.
Because we're swinging for the fence.
Valid point.
Goldie's just better at it right now.
Well, I mean, even the one that he hit in the left field the other day, he just reached out and just. That's a big league hit.
Yeah.
That's a hit that you have to make on that pitch, protecting the plate. It was a 2-2 count. Just reached out and hit it. Hit it over top. Hit it over top the infield. Lands in the outfield.
Are you kind of referencing Jeff Albert when you talk about some of the
Jeff
wild
Albert's a piece
swings?
of shit.
Analytics.
Oh boy, here we go. Billy Bean.
He might be a
I'm
great
in
guy.
that
Billy
boat.
Bean.
He might be a great guy.
I'm in that boat with you.
But okay, let me rephrase it. Jeff Albert he might be a nice guy, but Jeff Albert's hitting philosophy cannot be. When we have other guys who go to other teams and they do really well with
The problem.
other philosophies,
Matt Carpenter?
that'd be one of them. It's a good example.
Colton Wong.
Colton Wong goes out and says like,
Luke
yeah,
Voigt?
this did not help. Luke Voigt's a good one.
Voigt.
There's a list. There's a long list of them.
Adolis Garcia?
I'll agree.
So why are we going to stick with it? Why are we married to that?
Because he's got pictures.
He has to.
I think, honestly, I think
True.
Marmol was forced into keeping him for one more year. I think you're seeing with Carpenter, as much as I'm just not a Matt Carpenter fan, nice guy, just not a fan.
Sorry, Coach Rhodes, another one.
Yes, sorry, Coach. Not a fan, but you rattled off a bunch of names, and I agree with that. I mean, the proof's there. Some of these guys are going to other teams and performing
Right.
at a high level.
And then they talk about how bad
Right.
things are here with the hitting.
You've got to make a move, and you know they're right now. Honestly, they're getting by. Yeah, there's every now and then they get on thin ice, but they're winning. And
But
you know that series next week against Milwaukee. Once again, it's June. I get it. We're not even to the All-Star break, but I'm telling you right now, that series in Milwaukee next week is as big as you're going to see all year long.
They have to stay close with Milwaukee because the second half schedule very much favors the Cardinals.
But then you got Chicago coming in next weekend.
You're not wrong in that situation, but I'm just saying it's a huge difference in the level of who Milwaukee has to play in the second half versus who the Cardinals.
Well, the Cardinals have the second easiest schedule. But here, let me going back to the whole thing with Jeff Albert, and this goes back to the conversations I've had with Alec Casena, and he's talking about, because I asked him, I said about hitting and everything with all the analytics, hitting and pitching, and how they go back and forth, and things always turn full circle.
Right.
Where now the OPS has been big, batting average is that important, home runs, the three true outcomes, but then he was talking about it, and he made this in. He said a lot of hitting now in Major League Baseball, you're going to see it where they start valuing batting average again because guys are not getting on base like they need to. You're not hitting against the shift where you need to.
Yeah.
How do you beat the shift? You just hit it the other way, which is hard.
Pitching has adjusted to hitting philosophies, which before they adjusted to it, hitting for launch angle and the magic words of launch angle and getting underneath the ball and those types of things were easier to do because pitching hasn't adjusted.
But that's what he was. But that's
people
what he was,
are now pitching down in the zone, throwing those.
But
that's exactly what Alex was saying.
Yeah,
I want to disagree with you on the analytics thing for one thing, and just hear me out. You look at what college coaches are doing now, especially the big kids on the block, the Tennessees of the world, the Arkansas of the world. They're not relying on the home run ball anymore. Nope. They're actually teaching bunting. You know, you're seeing them work station to station, and it's trickled down to the high school, and that's where the analytics part comes in. Is you're starting to see. You don't have those guys. Honestly, I do not think the home run record is ever going to be touched again. I don't. Because of how baseball has shifted their thinking on manufacturing runs, bunting, taking walks, going station to station, and creating offense.
I've got
get them over, get them in.
Right.
Yes.
I've got a hot take on that though. When was baseball, besides the whole point, besides steroids, McVey? When was baseball? When was the home run record in jeopardy? It was when baseball players were still hitting for average. Right. Think about it. How much pressure do you put on a pitcher when you got ducks on the pond? If you've got 2 and 3 guys, when you've got guys who are hitting 30 home runs and they're driving in 120 RBIs, think about how many guys have not hit 100 RBIs across. And the reason is I'm either hitting it out or I'm getting out.
Yeah.
You don't have guys on base.
Striking out.
Pitchers have learned that solo home runs don't kill you.
Solo home runs don't kill you.
Right.
So you have guys who have 40 home runs and 92 RBIs.
Right.
That. If you had 42 home runs back when I was in high school, you were driving in 150.
Exactly.
No doubt about it. But why is that? Because guys in front of you are on base. So I'm going to get some fastballs because I'm fighting off the pitcher, and then we're getting guys on. So I disagree. If baseball goes back to that, and you can be analytical, I have no problem with that. But instead of it just being hit it out or get out, I want to get on base. I want to get guys who are quick, speedy, get on base, put pressure on the pitcher. Then you want to see guys who are actually dealing with some stuff.
Right.
That's when you're going to see it.
Pitching has evolved from throw it hard. Let's throw it. The guys that would throw it 98, 99, but straight, and hitters couldn't catch up.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's what it evolved into throwing it hard, hitters starting adjusting. So pitchers have found out the best pitchers are the ones that throw it hard, but have that movement, that natural sink, that stuff that Jordan Hicks have when he's healthy,
Oh,
where that
yeah.
ball just tails right into right-handed hitters and away from left-handed hitters, and it makes it unhittable at 101. I don't care what your launch angle is.
Oh, yeah.
You're just trying to get a piece of
The
it.
Roger Clemens
Well,
split
watching.
finger fastball
Yes.
Yes.
was a thing of beauty.
Yes, it was.
The Trevor
Absolutely.
Hoffman changeup at that point. You're learning pitchers are starting at times to pitch again. They're now doing it with more talent. They're doing it with elite level mile per hour.
Yeah, like Helsley the other night.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he was throwing, right at 100, but that ball had to be moving because they were swinging at
moved
stuff
a
out of
foot.
the
way
strike
out of-
zone.
right,
Yeah, I mean,
right.
it
You
was.
might as well be swinging a tennis racket at
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, do we got time for one more topic?
Yeah.
Okay, U.S. Open.
What sport is that?
Golf.
Or it could be
Jarvis,
tennis.
is golf okay?
Yeah, can we ask Jason, is
Is
golf
Jason,
okay?
is golf okay?
Wait,
L.
are we driving around? Are we riding around in the carts, drinking beer and playing?
Well, that's us. That's not
Yes.
the
Do
guys
they-
that
do
are
they get to
playing
do
right
that?
now.
Can
Not the
they?
coach's
They
box
can.
open.
I'm
the
sure when
US
they're doing
Open.
practice rounds on,
I guarantee you there's a little bit of that.
oh,
going
there's no doubt
They
about
can-
it. Well, ask Phil Mickelson about gambling during the practice rounds. Oop,
Bro,
was
he
that
never
too
did
soon?
that.
Was that too soon?
I don't think he's watching. It's okay.
40 million in debt because of gambling.
Yeah.
and he shut.
That's all right.
And
He went over to the
Oh,
Live
yeah.
tour to make
Oh,
all
yeah.
that money. I mean,
and
Saudi money.
What does live mean?
45.
That's
Or-
right. Because it has something to do with the course score or something. doesn't
No,
it?
it's how many players play in the actual tournament.
Yeah, they have a limited number that are allowed to
Yeah.
play,
So they use Roman numerals.
and they play everybody up front. You get a contracted amount no matter where you finish.
Yeah.
in
So it's
blood
guaranteed.
money,
It's guaranteed
Gold-
oil money.
gold
It's
to
oil
blooms.
money.
gold doubloons,
Yes.
You get all your money up front. Doesn't matter where you finish.
barrels of oil.
So you get guaranteed money. That's why the big names in many instances are going.
Phil
they can just go
Mickelson-
play golf.
Phil Mickelson, from what the reports are, got $200 million.
That paid off that debt real quick.
Exactly. Dustin Johnson is getting $150 million
Yeah.
to play in this
I
tournament.
wonder
Now,
how much they'd pay me to play.
you would at least make $125,000 because that's what the last place player in last weekend's tournament made.
feel like-
$125,000.
Happy Gilmore was last place
Yeah,
kid.
exactly.
I'm in the wrong
Look at
business.
big checks.
What are we doing?
I'll take a big
But
Don't these guys, out of their money, have to pay, their entourage? I mean,
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
you can't really blame them for taking a contract.
Well,
I mean, I
but-
understand.
And then they just
what's
get to go
behind
play
it, but-
golf. They don't have to play golf well.
Right.
Right.
They just go to
Right.
go play golf.
Yeah, and now
You know,
they can
It's
do
like
what
it's
Chris
like,
said on the
it's like
cards.
me
for
going
the
down to
beer.
Crystal
Yeah.
Highlands and somebody paying me $200 million to hit the ball
Yeah.
45 times on the
Just
first
shake
4
it and
holes.
almost kill somebody on hole number 6
At
over
least
here.
12 balls.
I
Or-
spent $20 million just in golf balls. Just
Or
to try to play.
birdie, hole number 9.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So, Tim Meacham,
Sign him
the PGA commissioner, came out last week and basically he'd been threatening this and he didn't back down from it. Every player, there were 17 of them. 12 of those 17 gave up their PGA memberships. 5 of them are still holding on to it. He suspended all of them indefinitely. They cannot participate in any PGA-sanctioned event. Even the Seniors Tour, the Ryder Cup, the President's Cup, they're out. Now, if it goes to court and it gets questioned, yeah, those players might win. But right now, they're, persona non grata. But the USGA, who runs the U.S. Open that's being played up at the Country Club right outside of Boston, said, you know what? They've qualified. It's too late for us to change our qualifying requirements. We're going to let them play. So in the build-up this week, every player that got brought in for their pre-tournament press conferences, which is all the big names, Brooks Koepka, Rory McIlroy, Colin Marquardt, a bunch of those other guys. Every reporter kept peppering them with questions about, okay, you saw Phil, you saw DJ, what was it awkward, blah, blah, blah. What do you think of this? I thought Rory and Colin handled themselves extremely well. Rory has been very outspoken about it from the word go. I thought Brooks Koepka I thought the over-under for F-bombs at one point during the press conference was going to be set at 5, and it would have been over. I mean, he was. I've never seen Brooks that irritated at a press conference than what I saw on Tuesday. And he basically said, "It's you guys that are blowing this up. We're here to play for for golf this weekend. It's their national championship. Right. That's why it's called the U.S. Open." And that's all we want to worry about. We don't care what happened over in London last week. If those guys are here, great. You know what? That's fine. But let us concentrate on this. Let's not put a black cloud over this outstanding tournament that's our national championship. And honestly, I thought he was going to jump out of his skin. And Kevin, you saw the press conference.
I thought he was going to hit somebody with his driver.
Yeah.
He looked that irritated. He was there was a vein on his forehead that was about to pop open. Looked like Miller when they're not fouling the right kid. But
or clipboards might be hitting the ground.
I know. For people who don't know, that's pretty intense.
Yes.
And it's very accurate.
So and Brooks had every right to do that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I'm surprised more of them didn't. Golf tends to be a little bit more docile sport in some instances, and Brooks the exception to the rule within the tour. Mm-hmm. But it was good golf when they were, as they're starting to get to play this, and it's a tough course.
Oh.
And that's what they have to focus on.
Right.
And they're getting inundated with these idiotic questions about something that they have zero control over.
Well, reporters always ask really great questions.
Sure they do. Sure they do.
Yeah.
Well, probably because it is the U.S. Open. This is going on, and some of these guys don't normally cover golf. They're assigned to this because of the event that it has become.
Well, and they got assigned to it because it's the if the LIV had already played maybe 3 tournaments, and the U.S. Open was later on in the year, I don't think you would have the media coverage of non-sports or non-golf media members. I mean, there's actually news outlets that are sending reporters there that have no idea about golf. They're being fed questions by their directors and producers and editors to ask these questions. And I guarantee you that it's to try and get a rise out of these guys, to make them say something stupid like Phil did back in late January, early February, when the whole thing came out about him being in this whole thing. But yeah, it was just ridiculous. And I was actually, when I woke up this morning, and I was up at 5 o'clock this morning. I was watching. Yes, I was. Ask Ed.
Hot take.
Ask Ed. I was up at 5 o'clock this morning.
You went to the bathroom, then you went back to bed.
No. I don't. You know what? I went to the bathroom, then I went out onto my reclining chair, and I put the golf tournament on because I
back to bed.
The majors I absolutely love.
Did the PGA bring this on with the way they handled this situation?
I think so.
Put me to sleep.
The PGA made this worse by just coming out downright, putting their foot down.
Tim Meacham could have handled it.
All of those,
There's 17
total.
12 of them gave up their membership. Now it's at least going to 19 because DeChambeau and Patrick Reed are playing in the next LIV event that's going to be out in Oregon in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and
so this is basically for those two. This is it. The U.S. Open is their last PGA event.
The PGA made it. The PGA made this worse by basically being the disgruntled ex-girlfriend
I'll
that
agree
is
with
trying
that.
to make this worse.
That's why I think it is going to go to court.
Yeah.
And I think the PGA is going to lose. I get it. I get what they're doing. There's a better way to handle it. And I'm saying this as just I love golf. I love watching golf. As following the tour as much as I have.
No wonder you sleep a lot.
Wow.
That's what he watches.
You're brutal.
You have no idea.
I do have an idea. You're
Sorry.
actually being nice when you say that. So,
Coming from the guy who watches Disney Plus in his office all day.
I don't watch as much Disney Plus now.
What is it now? Discovery Plus?
Peacock. I'm watching Suits. I'm going back and watching Suits.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
You're watching WrestleMania over and over and over again on the WWE Network.
He's thinking about his next move.
He's a Ring of Honor guy.
Oh, yeah, there you go. But yeah, I mean,
off the top rope.
It's been a circus up there. At least they got to play golf today. -4 is the lead, and then you've got like 6 or 7 guys. Rory McIlroy is in that mix at second place at -3. It's a tough course.
Well,
it is a tough track.
I think the thing that PGA actually did was they just haven't evolved with the times enough. I mean, they had Tiger come through, and everybody's big into golf. Everybody wants to be
I'll
Tiger
agree with
Woods.
that.
They're used to being the only game in town in the U.S.
Oh yeah.
And then
Now they got competition, and
It's not.
they could have treated the PGA could have treated the LIV Tour like what the NFL treats the XFL and USFL.
Yes.
Like just some gnat that eventually is going to get swatted away.
And I
If
still
the money
think that
runs out.
A much more well-funded
Yeah.
gnat that just
Well,
pushes itself
no,
away.
it's done with fossil fuels. Do you think we'll start telling them they can't do that too?
I
Solar-powered
don't know.
golf, I'm saying.
Solar power golf.
never. But I think it's short-lived, and I think it was handled wrong. I'm going to be very curious to see what happens in 3 weeks across the pond at St. Andrews. What is the RNA going to do?
Yeah.
Are they going to let these guys play? That is,
I
I think
think
that's
they're-
what everybody's waiting for.
I think
Sure
they're
they are.
watching to see how the PGA, if the way the PGA reacted, how it plays out. I think at some point, if more of these big names, they start suspending more of these big names, there's going to be less reasons for people, even less reasons for people to watch PGA golf.
Listen, if I'm a guy who's on the tour, and you're going to pay me a bunch of money just to play, and who cares? I want the money.
Yeah.
You only have so much time to
Show me the money.
again.
Oh, yeah.
You only have so much time to be a professional who can actually go out and make money playing a game. Chase the money.
Yes.
Go for it.
Yes. I get what they're doing. You know what?
I mean,
Work
it's blood
hard.
money,
I don't like
but-
I don't like where the money's coming from.
I think the
I
money-
agree with you.
I think
Right.
it's going to very much dry up here very soon, and there's going to
Absolutely.
be some strings attached that we're going to find out later.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to be stuck,
But-
playing
but
for the sheet.
It's going to be kind of like
But-
what
but
the
you also-
WFL was
Yeah.
years
Yeah.
ago.
But what you have to remember too with the British Open this year, it's the 100th anniversary of the British Open this year at St. Andrews, the course of the RNA.
For God's sake, the British people, do not let any American media members
Yes,
into the British
please.
Open.
Yes, please.
Keep
So-
them at the airport.
All right. So for the guys that know golf, who you got U.S. Open this weekend?
I like Rory. I think Rory's got the best golf. From what I saw a little bit today, he's probably playing the best golf right now.
He played on the easier part today. He'll get the tougher side tomorrow because he'll play in the afternoon. The wind really kicked up, but I tell you what, the way he played last week up in Canada, the way he played today, I got to make Rory my odds on.
I totally agree. He's playing the best right now.
Coach,
I have no idea.
there it is. And we know Miller doesn't care.
No.
There is a
I just read the
Miller's on
headlines.
his phone. He's doing his taxes.
There is a Mizzou connection. At one point, Mizzou's number one golfer,
you can ask.
who just graduated,
Why are you on your phone?
was leading at some point today.
Yeah.
He was one
And-
under
drink a
at
beer.
the top
And
of the charts.
St. Louis actually has there's a local player from St. Louis. Nick Klages is playing in this tournament.
I think-
Michael Wellington.
Okay, there's my pick.
Yeah,
I don't even know what he shot today. It wasn't good.
I'm gonna pick Rowliff
never
Jr.,
mind.
the pride of Savannah.
Who?
Rowliff Jr.,
you just Google searched who's
He just did.
legend of Bagger Vance, man. That's
On
about
that note,
as deep as my golf knowledge goes.
on that note,
I'm surprised you just didn't say I'm going to take
Couldn't
Will
remember
Smith.
I couldn't remember the first name.
I'm surprised he didn't say, I'm going to take a mulligan on that.
that's what I was waiting on.
Oh,
Or can I have
that'd
another?
have been a good one,
Can I have
yeah.
another Big Ultra, please? ladies and
Chris's
gentlemen?
golf
Right
game
here.
is one big mulligan to begin with. He looks like an unfolding lawn chair.
Yeah, mic drop.
That is true.
Hey, talk about the last time.
But
right.
him and I,
Did he get a birdie?
we went and golfed in
Yeah, hit him with his
Brian
drive.
Waits' tournament. We had two guys back out on us last minute, so it was just him and I in a foursome. So we each got 2 shots. We go to the hole number 9, par 3. This guy hits a bullet right onto the green, about 12 feet out from the hole. Gets on the green. First, I said, "Hey, put that in and make it your own birdie." What does he do? Boop. Bails it for a birdie.
shot.
Attaboy.
It's in the hole.
Please tell me you walked up to the ball saying, "It's time to go home." Are you too good for
done
your
that
home?
Go to your home.
Well, it
Go
was-
to your home.
It was what was even funnier was when he hit it off the tee box. I thought the thing was going in the hole. Like I thought it was going to be a hole in one. It literally was dead on, and it bounced right over the hole and about 10 feet out behind it.
But that type of day, you just drive the cart right to the car. You put
Yes.
the bag in it. You're like, I'm calling it a day.
And we were on hole 9, so
done.
I was like, we're right at the clubhouse, man. We can just go on right to the car.
I've always said
the
if I,
afternoon
I know.
drinking.
That's right.
if I ever get a hole in one, I don't care if it's number 2, I'm done. Go straight to the clubhouse and start buying.
I guarantee you, if I ever get a hole in one, my next hole, I lose 3 golf balls
Yeah,
in the woods.
Oh, I
that's
guarantee
true, too.
Yes.
I agree with
Guarantee
that.
it.
The next one's a
Guarantee
par
it.
5, and I'm trying to hole it again on a par 5. I'm leaving them in the woods. So,
Hey, all I'm gonna say is
I can do
it
that.
was the
That was
best
easy.
round of golf I shot in my life. And
It was.
What was the difference? I was wearing golf shoes.
Oh,
He was.
jeez.
He was.
I was. First time I wore golf shoes.
you weren't wearing
Well,
the,
we all
the
got.
New Balances.
We both got 2 shots on every shot, so we had to be a halfway decent. I mean, we had to play at least somewhat well.
Well, I mean, we didn't have a ringer.
Yeah, true.
Nobody was carrying us. It was
No.
like, well, it's just me and you, man.
We better start hitting it.
I did win. My foursome did win most honest at a golf tournament once. It means we finished last.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Most honest.
they gave us a free round of golf at another course because we won most honest.
you know it's
good.
bad when you get that.
That's
so.
all right. I was fine with it.
Oh,
Yes.
shoot. I hear music, so that means Chris is telling us it's time to go home. Gentlemen, thank you. Coach Winkler, thank you so much. And once again, next Tuesday, if you're not doing anything, come on up to the 09 for
I may do that.
for On the Move.
Need
So,
some good official talk. I mean,
yes,
that'd be-
absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Coach
so,
Jarvis might even tune in because we're talking about officiating.
yeah,
He
so
might show up.
He
We
may
might
come
get
up.
him to
He may
show
feel
up.
better, and we hope that he comes up. Happy birthday to Coach McVey. Coach Jarvis, get some rest. Can't wait to get you back here next
Absolutely.
Thursday night. On the Move with the Caravan, Tuesday night, 7 o'clock at the 09 Pub on Hampton in South City. And then right back here, the Coach's Box next Thursday, 8 o'clock, right here on Off the Rails Productions. Thanks, boys. Thanks for having us. Thanks for doing a crossover. And we're going to have a lot of fun next week with 2 shows. It'll be a blast.
It will be a major blast.
No doubt
And,
about
and
it.
definitely, I do want to, before we finish up, I definitely want to continue to keep the Jarvis family
Yes,
in your thoughts
absolutely.
and prayers. I mean, they're really just dealing with a lot, and you know, thank goodness that Coach Jarvis was able to get out of the hospital today, and he's at home doing well, and he is commenting on our post, so he is at home watching. He just sent me a picture of him and Weston out there playing in the front room, which to me was the best picture I could see all day. To be able to see those 2 guys going at it and having a little fun. So
Besides those other pictures you probably saw.
Oh, geez. And real quick, if you follow the Coach's Box on Facebook, I'm sure you've seen Riley, Chris, myself, Zach. You know, we've all been sharing on our personal Facebook pages, but also on the Coach's Box. We're doing a meal train for the Jarvises over the next couple weeks to help them out. It's been, put it this way, what they've gone through over the last month is just, you don't wish that on anybody.
Right.
And so if any of our listeners, any of our fans watching or anything like that, if you can donate a gift card or, you know, send food or whatever, reach out to any one of us. We'll help you get it set up. But we would really appreciate if you could keep, number one, the Jarvis family in your thoughts and prayers, but we also want to take care of them a little bit. I know when we did the GoFundMe last month, the response was unbelievable. Yes. Let's help them out with some dinners and some different things over the next couple weeks so we can get them taken care of. They're our family.
yes, they are.
And we want to make sure we're taking care of our family, and any help that we can get will be absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, he and Tara Lynn just had an anniversary too, right?
Yeah, they had
Yeah.
just had their
And
anniversary
I-
yesterday, and
I made a
Fifth
post.
anniversary?
Yeah, 5th. Yeah.
Fifth,
yeah.
And I said I made a Facebook post. I said, Coach Jarvis, congratulations, Tara Lynn. You have my deepest sympathies.
and she appreciated that
Yes,
too.
she did. She needed the laugh at that point. So, but you know, keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And once again, check any of our pages out or the Coach's Box page on Facebook. And if you could help out with a meal or something, you know, we would really appreciate you helping one of our family members out. So let's wrap things up. It's been a great Thursday night here at La Pachanga. Glad to have you on board with us. It is the crossover show, and we'll do this again probably maybe right before school starts, football season.
Oh, yeah. We can try
Softball
to do
season
that.
too. Don't forget.
Yeah,
about that.
softball season as well. So maybe we'll have to do this again.
Boys
before.
soccer season.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
Boys soccer. Yeah, you
Volleyball,
had to throw it in.
cross-country
had to throw it in
season.
there.
Cross
Yeah.
country,
So we'll have
football.
to.
Can't think of anything else.
We'll have to do one more crossover for the season starts.
Basketball
So, but thanks
coaches
so
can't
much.
do open gyms.
7 weeks
Absolutely,
out, we
yeah.
can start practicing. Yeah,
Yes, exactly. So thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. We're going to get out of here. Thanks to La Pachanga once again, and we will see you guys Tuesday night at the 09 and next Thursday right back here at La Pachanga's.
sec.
Thanks for watching another rib-tickling, gut-busting, epic episode of The Coach's Box. Please like, share, and follow.